Hi everyone, my name is Melissa with Revelation of Nature, empower others to live a healthier lifestyle. And today I am here with a special guest. His name is Ray. He is the owner of Awareness Training. And today we're going to be speaking on a very important topic for those of you that are into holistic health. In general, also mobility, and Ray focuses on that. So I don't want to get too into it, but I do want to ask Ray the questions. So if you want to introduce yourself, Ray, also let them know what inspired you to start your business along.
Thank you. Great introduction. So my name is Ray Martinez. I own Awareness Training, and I really help people with their mobility, and we dive a lot more beyond exercise here. So we do a lot of personal training, but beyond that, what I found as I've gotten older is that yes, the exercise and the nutrition is important, but what's also important is how we're taking care of our body. What does our sleep look like? Are we able to manage our stress effectively? And I find that once we start to really focus on those factors, more of a holistic lifestyle factor, people start to just feel better in their own body. So our approach is much more tailored to the individual. And as we're going to discuss today, exercise is a great topic, and we're going to talk about how specific exercise can help with things like detox and help with your digestion. So I'm excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for even giving us your time today. That was a great introduction as well. I love it. Something that I did want to ask you was, why do you think it's important for people that, let's say they're eating healthy already and they're not exercising? Why do you think they should start to exercise? Or maybe a little bit about how you do it within your business.
Sure, no, great question. So sometimes you'll have people who, they are eating a whole food diet, they're eating really well, but they still seem to, not be able to lose that weight, or they're having digestion issues. So what we want to look at is, okay, well, how often is this person moving? What is their exercise routine looking like? Because I like to look at the body in terms of fluid flow. If people aren't exercising and they're not moving on a daily basis, then they're not having very good circulation in their body. The process of being able to digest your food and to break it down requires some sort of movement. I think of a great exercise that more people can do is just simply walking after a meal. In fact, for those who walk after meals, it's been shown that it's a great way to lower your blood sugar levels after eating. So that's just one thing, but there's also some exercises that are very gentle on the body. This is great for people who have any sort of joint pain, whether their lower back is hurting or they have knee issues and they want to exercise more, but they just don't know how. There's a lot that we can still do. We can even strengthen the body and help do corrective exercises to help them manage their pain, and at the same time, like I mentioned, get more movement and more flow for their digestion, and that tends to clear up a lot with these clients.
Okay, that's great. I agree with that actually as well, because I know how good it feels to go work out at the gym, and even like you said, just take a walk after you eat, because you can feel full and then you just go to sleep. What happens when people do that? You just are full and then you go to sleep.
Yeah, they're going to sleep with a full stomach, and they wake up why am I waking up so groggy? Why can't I think clearly throughout the day? And yeah, that relates to how big of a meal that they're eating, and are they exercising post meal? It's one of the most important things that they can do, and also consider the mental aspect. As you said, when you're exercising after you eat, or just moving in general, you tend to feel a lot better, and that goes a lot into those endorphins that we're getting once we exercise.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Also, breaking down the food, right? It's very important. That's why it's important to go take a walk, or just kind of relax the body as you're walking, kind of thing.
Absolutely. One great exercise that I like to have my clients do is just any rotation exercise. So we can think of things like doing wood chops, or just laying on the floor and letting your legs go back and forth. By adding that twisting movement for the body, that's a great way to improve your digestion. We want to make sure that we're including some sort of twisting in our workout programs.
Okay, so besides you doing mobility and just exercises and things of that nature, do you also help them with nutrition, or do you give them advice with food as well, or does that consist?
Yeah, great question. So for me, I'm not a dietitian, so I can't create a meal plan for a client, but what I can do is just guide them on the very basics of nutrition, which I find that tends to be a challenge for most people. A lot of people don't understand what is protein, what do carbs do for the body, what do fats do. So a lot of my coaching is just educating the clients on the very basics of how do you eat to take care of your own body. And that's the key word, right? So it's your own body, not the body of your friend or your neighbor. There's so many diet books out there that say, hey, you should be eating this this specific way, and that can be very dogmatic, or you can get very rigid in your thinking when it comes to nutrition. So I like to teach people how to become more aware of how they feel after having a meal. So for example, a great tool is a food journal. So I'll have my clients just write in a notebook, say, hey, you know what, you're gonna have your normal meal for today, and then afterwards just write down how you feel. Because a lot of us aren't really paying attention. We're so go, as we were having a conversation about this earlier. And just becoming more aware of like, okay, well, how was my digestion today? How was the quality of my sleep? And once they start changing the way that they eat and they're writing down how they're feeling, then they can start to pinpoint, well, you know what, I start to feel better when I actually drink more water throughout the day. I tend to, it tends to upset my stomach when I have cookies right before bed, you know.
Right.
But, it's, you know, things like that, just a little awareness, it becomes a really powerful
I
tool
can see
for
that.
them.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great advice, actually. Because we can tend to forget really easy, right? Like what we ate throughout the week and stuff like that. Another question I had while you were speaking that came to my mind was, what inspired you to start your business?
Great question. So for me, one of my first introductions into the fitness industry was working as a boot camp instructor for many years, a fitness boot camp instructor. So a lot of that, you know, involved these high intensity classes, very just, we're gonna kick your butt once you're in here. And a lot of these clients got great results. You know, we had these challenges, lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And people would go through these challenges, and, you know, a lot of them would lose the weight. And, you know, they would come back and be like, oh, you know what, your programs were so good. You know, I lost all this weight. And then they'd come back and be like, oh, you know what, well, I went on vacation, and, you know, I gained the weight back, or I gained even more. I want to take the programs again because they work so well. And I started to question and say, well, how well are these programs working if these people are still coming back with the same issues or even worse? And I've also noticed that in that group setting, it was really hard to work with the individuals who were maybe suffering with back pain and neck pain. So it got me to really explore more from a holistic background and say, okay, well, what's really going on here? Like, what's the root of the issue? And so when I started to learn how much breathing affects the body, how much what you eat can affect your health, how things like people aren't getting enough sleep and how that affects your performance, I'm like, well, okay, you know what? This is a bigger picture going on. And when I started to apply that to my own life, because I don't know if I ever shared, I dealt with a lot of skin issues growing up in high school. I was very self-conscious about it. I had a lot of acne, just not on my face, but also on my back. And I remember the frustration of being told it had nothing to do with what you're putting in your body. You just need medication. You need this over-the-counter medication to put on your skin. And I'm like, no, there has to be more. So once I started to learn, I started to apply a lot of these holistic approaches, then I noticed that my skin started to clear up, my digestion got better. I used to have back pain, my joint pain went away.
Wow.
And so I'm like, if I can feel this way, I know I can help others feel this way. So that's what really inspired me to create my own business and call it awareness training, and just help people become more aware of how to take care of themselves and eat better and move better.
I love that. Honestly, that correlates with what I do too. The reason why I got inspired to do what I do is because of how I felt. So I remember you did share the skin issues, which was crazy because I was like, oh my gosh, like so did I. So guys, also another thing, the reason why I also wanted to interview Ray is because he's also into like more of the holistic side of it, and he's aware of the food aspect as well, and pharmaceuticals and things of that nature. So I'm sure you educate your clients about this as we are speaking about it. So that is something I wanted to point out because, you know, it's very, like for me, I'm very picky as to like who I'm going to have and things of that nature. So your information is something that I was looking for, especially the aspect of moving. So another question that I want to ask is, what happens to people if they don't do any type of exercise and they think they're invincible? You know, they're like, you know what, we only live once, who cares? You know, let's just eat whatever and like not move around and things of that nature.
Sure. We've met, you know, these people before, and I think a great question to bring up, or if I was having a conversation with this person, is I would just simply ask, what is it costing you to live the way that you're living? Is your health either getting worse, is it staying the same, or is it getting better? And for someone who's dealing with, they're not exercising, so I'm going to maybe guess that they're not feeling their best. If their health is staying the same or if it's getting worse, well, that's a sign that their body's wanting to change. Their body's crying out for help. So just asking that question is a good awareness question for those individuals, because everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to wake up feeling energized. No one wants to be in pain. They want to be able to go out and enjoy life, spend time with their family, pick up their grandkids, stay resilient as you get older. You know, as we get older, there's always the fear of, like, what if I fall and break my hip? And so thinking in terms of, okay, well, what's it really costing me to not move my body? That's just a good question to ask people. I would say if you don't exercise, if you don't do things like strength training, if you don't take care of your heart health with things like cardio, if you don't do mobility, you're going to be very restrictive and stiff, especially as you get older. And so if you really want to move your best, if you want to improve your digestion, if you want to detox the body, because again, we're talking about fluid flow, sweating helps with detox, so exercise is a great way to do that. I would say start exercising, and hey, you know what? You don't have to spend 5 days in the gym. You can simply start to move more, like we said, after having a meal, going for a walk. You can do some very light activity. In fact, I hope I can share an exercise with you today on how we can improve digestion. Very low impact, and everybody can do it. I'd love to share that, but there's always a way that you can move more, and I just invite you to find a way that works for you.
Okay, yes, I love that. People say that they want to feel good, or they say that they already feel good, but a lot of times they don't even know what it's like to feel good, right? Because I know I didn't know, so that's why it's important to share more awareness. And there's a reason why we're here too, guys. Like, you know, we're not just doing this because, well, at least we're not doing it for the money. We're not doing this for, it's a passion. It's something that we were called on to do. As I believe that, I don't know if you feel the same about your business, but you know, it is a huge thing to do, because a lot of people don't really, at least a lot of society doesn't really know the impact that health has within your lifestyle, and just to feel good, to be able to move even when you're, because it's such a concept that when you get older, like, you're going to be hunchback, you're going to do this and that, but it's only because we're not eating properly, and also we're not exercising effectively, right? And every day kind of thing. So moving your body is so important. I agree with that. So we definitely want to show you guys, Ray wants to show you guys an exercise. So I think we want to move on to that, but I also want to ask you, like, if I missed any questions or something that you want to share that is important for the people that you would like for them to be aware of.
I would just like to thank you for allowing me to share my message, and I also just want to highlight you and just share. I see the powerful stuff that you're doing, you know, behind the scenes, and helping your clients feel better too through your, you know, sharing your herbs with them. And that's why I got connected with you, because I know for me, for myself, you know, I like coffee. I enjoy coffee, but I also know that I can get very sympathetic, dominant, where I'm just very more hyper. And so it's good for me to have that practice to manage my own stress. And I've seen that also help my clients as well. So doing things like having a herbal routine, I think, is super important. And for you to provide, you know, all these different types of varieties. And one thing that I remember when I'm asking you is that, you know, being able to ask you, like, hey, Melissa, like, what herbs help with your digestion? And you being so knowledgeable on it. And one thing that you said earlier that I really appreciate, you said, I would never try a herb or a supplement that I haven't tried for myself. And I think that's really important, and shows your dedication to what you do. And so I just wanted to share also, just exercise, in addition to a herbal routine helping you manage your stress, exercise and drinking more teas and herbs, that's a powerful combination. So I recommend that a whole lot more.
Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Yes, it is important to drink herbal tea, I would say, every day, because each herb, flower, and root have a different nutrient, or I should say mineral, because they keep us going. You know, we are made out of minerals. So that would help with, I would even say, mobility, because some of them have calcium rich, you know, iron rich, which you want for your energy levels. and many more things. So if you start to function your kidneys, your liver, if you start cleaning out your system, then you're going to be able to absorb minerals better. And that's when you start to gain more energy. So when you gain more energy, you can do more, you can be happier, and yeah.
Live your life.
Live your life, that's right.
Awesome.
So right now we're going to be moving on to Ray showing us an exercise.
Very simple exercise I have my clients do after having a meal. Maybe they don't want to go outside for a walk, it's too cold, whatever it is. They're standing up, just simple body weight, and you're just doing a body weight squat. So when you're doing the body weight squat, you're going to just bend your knees and go down as far as you're able to go. You can have your arms in front of you for counterbalance. And we stand up. Now, very important for when we're moving after having a meal, it's not going to feel very good if the intensity is very high, if you're trying to go really fast. The goal is to go really slow and also work with your breath. So don't hold that breath in. You want to take long, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale, and that's going to help again with that digestion. It's going to help get things moving. How many squats should you do? How long should you do it? My answer, yes. As many as you want to, whatever feels good. You can put a timer on and do a few minutes. Maybe you're getting a little bit sore, so you take a little bit of break. But do whatever feels good. Work your way into, you don't want to get sweaty. You don't want to get your heart rate up. If your heart rate's beating faster, then the intensity is too high. So whatever movement that we're doing for digestion, make sure that you're not elevating your heart rate and make sure that you're not short of breath. So that's one exercise you can do. Okay, let's say that the squats, you have knee pain or you have back pain, and so you need something with a little bit more lower intensity. What we can do is a simple bridge on the ground with your feet under your knees, your toes are forward, your arms are to your side, and you're just going to lift your hips up to the ceiling. So your hips come up, we breathe in. I like to use the breath with the movement. We breathe out as they come down. So go with the rhythm of your breath. And again, we're not going fast. We're not trying to get that heart rate up. And you're just going to however long this feels good to do, and that'll help with your digestion. What I would add to this one when you're done is, we mentioned before how rotation is really good for your digestion. I like to take the knees and let the knees fall to the side, keeping your shoulders glued to the ground. So that's one, and you go to the other side, that's two, and we're adding that rotation, aiding in that digestion, and make sure that you're doing your breath. Those are some great exercises that you can do to improve digestion.
All right, guys, so we're about to wrap up this interview. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new today. I know Ray gave you guys a lot of great insights and even showed you guys exercises. So make sure if you're having digestion issues, they should do that, or just in general, right? And for
just in general, yeah, it's just really good movement. So like we talked about, get more movement throughout the day, especially if you need more low intensity stuff. If you need help with any joint pain or just any tension in your body, find someone who can help you with that and give you the appropriate exercises for you, because as we mentioned, there's an exercise for everybody.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tap in with Ray. I know he got content, and also he can also do one-on-one. And if you guys need coaching, private coaching, things of that nature, Ray's got you. So you guys already saw how he's dedicated and passionate about it. So I'm going to sign out saying, my name is Melissa with Revelation of Nature. Thank you, Ray, for your time. And you are?
Ray with Awareness Training. Thanks for visiting, guys.